Donald Trump was recruited by the KGB under the codename Krasnov, claims a former Soviet spy chief. I'm going to read into this more from Byline Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Byline Times with a headline that Donald Trump was recruited by the KGB under the codename Krasnov, claims a former Soviet spy chief. A former senior KGB chief claims Trump was recruited by them in 1987 due to his role as a prominent US businessman. A prominent US businessman? You mean this businessman that had lots of business failures? They picked, so allegedly, the story here from this former KGB chief is that they decided to recruit a US businessman, but a guy who was a consistent failure, apparently. So is it possible that perhaps maybe the Russian government propped Donald Trump up? We honestly don't know. It's just going to be fascinating to read, that is for sure. But what I will say is that, Trump does come across as someone that likes Putin, that loves Putin. He loves the power that Putin has. He loves that Putin has all the power, all the control in Russia, and that no one can say anything otherwise. And that's exactly what Donald Trump wants in America. Now he hasn't got complete and total power of everything in the US, but he is trying to push that narrative, and he is trying to push over anything, anyone or anything, any of the legal framework, the systems that are in place in the US to stop him having that power. And that appears to be what he's trying to do there in America, is to have the same. He wants to have that same control, that same power that Vladimir Putin has in Russia. But is it really a case that Donald Trump is actually a spy for Russia, or is it just a case of that he's a fanboy of Russia because of what Putin is? We honestly don't know, and it's just speculation. I mean, we can continue to speculate till the cows come home. But what Donald Trump has been saying and his actions are what speaks more than anything. His actions, really, rather than his words, because he says a lot of things and then he forgets about them. Like, I don't know what's happening with Greenland or the Panama Canal, like he did say about invading them, and at the moment he's gone a bit quiet on them at the moment. But that could change again, So, but there is absolutely no question here that that America is just not what it used to be anymore. And many people think that Donald Trump is their savior, that he will make America great again. What's the cost of eggs right now? Oh, that's right. They've gone up since he became president. A former senior Soviet KGB spy has claimed that Donald Trump was recruited as a spy by the Russian intelligence as early as 38 years ago by his department and given the codename Krasnov. Again, we don't know this for sure. It's entirely up to you whether you want to take this on board or not. Russia's Committee for State Security, abbreviated as KGB, was the main security agency of the Soviet Union between 1954 to 1991, responsible for internal security, foreign intelligence, counterintelligence, and secret police functions. In an extraordinary post on Facebook on February 20th, Angela Maskov, who used to run the successor to the Soviet-era KGB in Kazakhstan, claimed that he was personally aware of Trump's recruitment by the agency in 1987. The recruitment, he said, was undertaken by his own KGB department. One of the key roles of that department was to acquire intelligence through business leaders in Western countries. In 1987, I served as the 6th director of the KSB of the USSR in Moscow. The most important area of work of the 6th directive was the recruitment of businessmen from capitalist countries, wrote Mussolini in a Russian-language post on Facebook. It was that year that our office recruited 40-year-old businessman from the United States, Donald Trump, under pseudonym Krasnov. I know I probably mispronounced the Russian name. He later added, in the activities of intelligent agencies, as in life, everything is possible, even the wildest and incredible things. For example, recruitment of future leaders of state and even the President of the United States. Does any of that surprise you, that they would possibly be recruiting people within the United States to potentially get influence within America on behalf of Russia. No one should be surprised by this. No one. Now, whether or not Trump was recruited, I don't know. But this kind of stuff should not surprise that this has been happening. Maslov's most recent senior intelligence position was the head of Kazakhstan's National Security Committee, the KGB, under the tenure of President Nasrin Nasrirovsky. I'll probably mispronounce that. From May 1997 to September 1998. He returned for a second term from August 1999 to May 2001. Prior to that, however, he was a long-serving KGB officer. In 2007, he fled the country after accusing the government of widespread corruption in the form of accepting millions of dollars of bribes from Western oil giants. Exiled to Australia in 2008, he survived an attempted kidnapping, which he attributed to the Kazakhstan government. Byline Times can confirm, based on archived Russian newspaper material, that Musarel first joined active military service in the KGB of the Soviet Union in 1979. He then joined KGB counterintelligence in the Kazakh Special Service from 1986 to 1989, the period in which he said he was aware of Trump's KGB recruitment. He was a second to the Central Office of the Minister of Internal Affairs of the USSR in Moscow before returning to the KGB. The Russian language sources on Mussolini's KGB career are unclear on which directive he was involved in. Although his Facebook post said he worked for the 6th Directive, he has also been described as working in the 8th Main Directive of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the USSR. Public information on these directives and how they work is sparse. The memoirs of KGB defectors like Oleg Grodzky, Yuri Bezimar, or Stanislav Levchenko confirmed in this period Western business leaders are frequently the targets of Soviet intelligence. Because guess what? Money talks. Although the Ministry of Internal Affairs did not typically initiate these operations, his account shows that it frequently supported or facilitated the KGB operations by leveraging its domestic authority inside the USSR, particularly in terms of surveillance, entrapment, and visa oversight for foreign visitors. Masalu claims are not the first time that a former senior KGB intelligence officer has publicly claimed that they were aware of Donald Trump's recruitment to the KGB. But it is the first time that Trump's alleged Russian codename Krasnov has been identified. According to Oleg Kroskin, a former KGB general who served in foreign intelligence and counterintelligence during the Soviet era, was Vladimir Putin's direct superior. Trump was on the radar of Soviet and Russian intelligence as early as the 1980s, which claimed that the KGB had chromoprapped on him, including reports of his sexual relationship with women. Yuri Stress, another former Soviet spy residing in the US, claims that the USSR cultivated Donald Trump since the 1970s, supporting his political ambitions and flattering him. According to him, Trump became the target of Soviet and Czechoslovak intelligence in 1977, after marrying the Czech model Iva Skatovskaya. So potentially somebody who was already working for Russia, maybe perhaps to get closer to Trump. We don't know. Iva's Trump's first wife reportedly worked with the Czechoslovak Security Service surveillance. This Daniel Beskov, according to the archive material studied by the Prague-based Institute for the Study of Totalitarian Regimes and first reported by Czech television. Yeah, because what better way to recruit somebody by, putting a beautiful woman, European woman in front of them that will sway and woo them, and that woman, in fact, is actually working for intelligence agencies against you as well. The STB formerly cooperated with Russia's KGB, Poland's SB, East Germany's Stasi, and other Soviet bloc intelligence agencies. Czechoslovakia's STB monitored Ivanka Trump and her family for decades. Reports tracked her marriage, immigration, and ties to Trump, wiretapping her calls and observing her children's visit. And her father was reportedly pressured to cooperate. Shivers claims that in the early 1980s, Trump entered in business interactions with Soviet immigrant Mr. Simeon Kluskin, allegedly linked to the KGB, and that during Trump's visit in Moscow and Leningrad in 1987. KGB agents encouraged him to enter politics. The White House and Enya Moskova were both contacted for comment. Well, they're not going to answer that, to be sure, but I will say, obviously, like with these things, it is food for thought. It's not a fact. It is food for thought, and it's something that we should we shouldn't rule out whatsoever. But it is very interesting to show that, to see that they're some of the things that they have claimed in here about perhaps that Trump was pressured and that the links were there, and that he did visit Moscow back in 1987, according to Byline Times, of what they've got information that they have acquired. I'm still not 100% convinced that Donald Trump is a Russian spy, but we just like a recruitment for them, but we just honestly don't know. But at the same time, if it is to be found out that he was, are anyone going to be surprised? Are you going to be surprised? Probably not. And this is a guy that wants to make America great again. Considering his actions so far as president, I don't think it's about making America great again. I think it's all about making Russia great again. But what do you guys think? What do you guys make of this piece? Do you think there's some facts into that? Do you believe what you've read here from this piece here on Byline Times? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comments section below. Now, if you found this informative or helpful to you in any way, shape or form, hit that like button, share across social media, subscribe for more content. Do click that join button as well to join the YouTube membership to financially support me in the work that I do here for as little as 99p. And check out the Rumble and Patreon content for exclusive content on those platforms. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.